Alrighty guys, this is day 2 in the 30 days of YouTube video challenge, and I'm going to talk about how to use AI to actually make a lot of money right now. So AI is obviously a very hot topic. A lot of people selling offers. I've seen a ton of offers, especially over the last 6 months or so around AI. And a lot of people I see selling this are doing it wrong, in my opinion. I have personally made a lot of money using AI, both directly selling it as like a service or a product in the way that I'm going to share with you in this video. I've also used it to make my existing offers a lot better and sell more of those, as well as my service fulfillment and making my products better using AI. So first of all, before I talk about what to do, let's talk about what not to do. You don't want to just sell AI, right? So I see people out there like creating courses around like how to use ChatGPT or how to use Claude. And that might be good for content, not so good as a product if you're trying to make a lot of money. You're not going to make a lot of money just selling generic and general AI prompts. So early on when AI, like about a year and a half ago, I bought a few products that were just like a collection of like 3,000 prompts. And I have never touched it. So AI prompts, they can work if you use them in the way I'm going to share in this video, but you don't want to just sell general like prompt packs. And also you don't want to just sell AI automations, right? Just general AI automations. So the problem with a lot of these is they're just too broad. They're too general. They're too generic. You're not going to do well just selling AI as AI. So here's what you should do instead. And here's where the opportunity is. And here's how I've made a lot of money with it. So what you want to do, and it's not very different from what has worked for a long time in online business. But what you want to do is pick a specific industry first. And I'll go through an example here as well as one of my examples from my business. So you want to pick a specific industry, okay? And that way you can come up with a use case on how AI can help them. So you want to pick a certain industry. You want to isolate a specific and painful problem that they have. So I'll talk about some examples in a second. But it could be, getting a certain part of their work done or getting a certain amount of leads or sales or something coming in. So you want to pick a painful problem that they're thinking about, that industry is thinking about all the time. Then first you want to sell some kind of service that solves this problem for this specific industry, okay? And eventually, some people don't even have to go beyond a service. You can build a very big and successful and profitable business just sticking around the service. But eventually, if you want to go even bigger, you can do a product. You can create some kind of product. So basically, you just take the service, you productize the service, and you could sell it at scale. And it makes fulfillment a lot easier. So let's walk through an example, and then I'm also going to share an example of how I use this in my business. So an example of an industry could be contractors. I am a real estate investor, so I work with a lot of different contractors, and I just paid a contractor yesterday to do a driveway on one of my rental properties, and the job is going to cost $26,000, okay? So a $26,000 job to do my driveway. He's redoing a concrete driveway. Now, a big problem with these contractors is they're not the best business people, so they're not the most organized, and they often will miss calls. And if they're missing calls, right, that's a problem, because imagine if someone like me, the reason I hired the guy that I did and paid him $26,000 is because I already knew him from somebody else. So he was actually a referral, and I wasn't just like going on Google and searching up a driveway contractor. But that happens a lot, right? So if you have someone like that who is missing a call that could lead to a $26,000 deal, well, that's a big problem, right? They're missing out on a lot of money, and this happens all the time. So a lot of contractors are not good with picking up the phone. They're not good with organization. They're often out in the field, and they take a long time to get back to people, which by the time they do, the person that called could have moved on to somebody else. So this is a lot of missed opportunity in terms of like deals closed and money they could be making. And so we can solve that problem with AI. Now, notice what I'm not doing here in terms of service is I'm not just selling them like, hey, contractor, here's an AI course, because they're not going to care about that, right? They're not going to have time to sit down and learn about how to use AI. So the best way that we can help them to solve this problem is not by selling them a prompting pack or a course around AI, but it's to do a service for them that solves this problem. So what we can do is we can use AI, and there's a lot of different tools that can do this now. Go High Level is an example of a tool that can offer this as a service, but you can create a service where you set up done for you, right? DFY stands for done for you. You can have a service where you set up a voice agent in this contractor's business, and you manage that voice agent. And what the voice agent does is it accepts the calls, and it sounds real. Like if you listen to some of these voice agents now, they sound very real. So someone calls in, the contractor's no longer missing the call. The voice agent will also answer questions and schedule the person into the contractor's calendar. It could also potentially give a quote based on their situation. So maybe they ask a few questions and the voice agent will give a quote based on the contractor's pricing and the project being done. But now we have solved this problem, okay? So instead of just selling a course or prompts or automations, we are selling a service where we are taking the calls that the contractor would have missed, and we're answering the questions, we're sending a quote to the person, we're booking them into the contractor's calendar, which of course can lead to a lot of money and solve this problem here, okay? Now, if we want to go further, this alone, right, you could charge thousands of dollars per month, right? $1,000, $2,000, $5,000 a month to set up and manage this voice agent for the contractor. If you wanted to go to the product side, well, maybe you create like a SaaS or a piece of code that just goes directly onto the contractor's site. They can set it up themselves, and you could sell this at scale to every contractor in the United States. So this is the progression, right? We want to figure out an industry. So in this case, it's contractors. We want to isolate a painful and specific problem that they have. So in this case, it could be missed calls, which means missed deals and missed money. We have a service, which is a done-for-you setup of a voice agent that solves this problem. And then we can eventually maybe sell some kind of SaaS product, a voice agent that they can set up themselves, and we can sell this at scale to every contractor, right, without having to worry about the fulfillment side of things. So this is the progression here. And this is what I did with my book publishing offer. So, and notice here, I didn't say, there's nothing about AI here, right? We're using AI to get the result that the contractor wants and to solve their problem. So notice I'm not even mentioning AI here. Sometimes during the sales conversation, I'll mention it, but the important thing is that the contractor gets what they want and you are using AI to fulfill on that. Okay, so this is the way that I do it. Now with my book publishing offer, an example was I had an industry and I started publishing books in 2020 for myself. In 2020 to 2023, I started working with clients and helping them with their books. And I was working with experts and business owners. And their problem was they had, this is every business owner's problem, but they had a lack of leads and customers. So they wanted a more consistent flow of leads and customers coming in. So what I did on the service side was I had a done-for-you book publishing service where I would create their book and I would set up the funnel and I would set up the ads that would solve this problem. Initially, I started off this service by doing it the traditional way. So I would have to meet with the client, I would have to talk to them once a week on Zoom and every day through WhatsApp to help them create their book. And it would take me 6 months. I charged a premium for it, so I charged $30,000 for this service. But at the time, it took a long time. So last year in 2024, I rolled out a more improved version of this service that uses AI. I called it the 1 hour book system. And what that was we could use 1 hour of content either from an interview or existing content, and we could turn that into a book as long as they had 1 hour or more of content. So instead of 6 months of the client's time and my time, I could now get it done with just 1 to 2 hours of the client's time and about 5 to 10 hours of my time going through the system and creating the book. So in this case, I'm using AI to streamline and make the service more efficient, to streamline the service and make it a lot faster and make the client happier, because now they're getting a book done in 30 days or less instead of waiting like 6 to 12 months or more. And I'm still charging a premium for this. And on the product side, I created a product. In this case, it is an info product. It's called the 1 hour book system. You can check it out in the description of this video. It's $27. And this is teaching both the experts and business owners and beginners who want to publish a book really quickly without writing it, get it done really fast, 30 days or less. And they can also, if they're a beginner, they can also offer it as a service to other experts and business owners, right? So there's an agency or service business opportunity here. But this is the way that you want to use AI to actually make a lot of money. It's not selling just AI on its own. It's not just selling AI courses. It's not selling prompting packs. It's not selling automations. These things can be great if they're applied in the right way, right? You have an industry who has a specific and painful problem. You offer a service that solves that problem, and then you can eventually productize that service and sell it at a more mass scale. So this is what I'd recommend. This is how I've made a lot of money using AI, and I'm going to continue to make more money as I come up with more of these solutions. But I hope this was useful to see. Go and do this, pick an industry, isolate a painful problem, offer a service that solves that problem, and then eventually you can build a product to scale that up. So I hope you found this useful. Let me know what you want to see in the comments for future videos, and I'll see you in the next one.